Come put your brick in, man. If you really believe in Christ.
Hey, shout out my brother Karab, man. Listen, man, may the Lord light will rise again, brother. When we gon' see you in the clouds. Brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick. We steady fishing, bridge dipping, sliding through the city, about to hit the district. We on a mission, complete the mission. Cause all you was right, 16th the mission. Holding down tradition, hell like conditions. To serve the Lord people, they need a physician. Fuck the opposition, they lie like politicians. Cause all it took was bread and a few fishes. Serve the Lord attentions, shout out the fourth dimension. I just pray you look it down, we need an exemption. Pardon my disposition, follow my intuition. Cause they lack vision, them niggas staunch Christian. Brick by brick, yeah. We gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick.
We gon' build this brick by brick like we Craig. Put my faith in the world, left me for dead. Don't go to war with cowards, most these niggas scared. Captain Quam said they'll force a crown on these niggas' head. You ain't gotta book a flight to check your spirit. This kingdom full of witchcraft, smoke in the mirrors. The oppressor, the devil, you see red. We can build our cities up again without white interference. That's the kingdom of heaven. They don't want us to unite because they see it's a weapon. They make this country great off of greed and deception. Nigga, I can't be convinced it's people evil as ever, so we can't be like them. Relax and fall back, we got it from here. Look at us, we done made the impossible real. We ain't pigs, wolves can't tear this down. Fuck they hand-me-downs, we gon' build a kingdom of brick by brick.
Brick by brick, yeah. We gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house.
Let me tell you something slick. Life is like a bitch. That hoe don't fucking listen. Yeah, she always on your dick. I'ma focus on the script, but I gotta pay the rent. White people dying cause they hogging all the fin. Nigga, I was heaven sent, drinking water out of Flint. I could tell a honky dog, they honk me like a sin. I'm behind a living tent with a dark skin vernacular. Bitch, I'd rather die for the truth like I'm Dracula. Lord Allah, she picked me, sure they get me to the rapture. I'm a dreamer, mama, she the mistress, I'm the bachelor. Old school, no bastard. What you do this for? Enslave you crackers. Every preacher, every pastor won't seek, move faster. They ultimately actors, but bitch, I'm living proof. It's the truth, it's a tragedy once I get in the booth. They told me take my shot, so I'ma shoot. I'm hopping out the coupe, John, Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yeah, we gon' build this house, brick by brick.
Introductory statement. Fuck them all if they participating in off-the-record conversations. Shit major. Stolen favors, masked as admiration. My youngin' brought his torch to the finish line, but I'm just glad he made it. And he ain't even trying to crack heads. He just know the danger. Inner city filled with anger. The skyline filled with angels. Twist the burner, shoot from different angles. Twisted what's the vibe, dog? I feel amazing. I found a stage door, but don't know what I came for. I'm nothing like a soft touch. Don't touch it if it ain't yours. I'm a remnant of a great source, nigga. So many rappers would be better off as actors. Benefactors to the confusion, no solution. Puppet master, storyteller, no connection to the novelist. It's a tragic bankrolls, covering open wounds. And now I'm shitting like a restroom. They hold venom intentions, eating the way they gum line the most high. Giving niggas crowns, and I want mine. Fuck the lunch line, cause I don't take the lunch breaks. No lunch date, she bottoms up. And all I had to do was tap her front brakes. I'm B-Raw, raw vision, war written, the word written. More given to the theory, the law written, provide a long living. I understand the terms, you gotta die to learn. Hunters purify, it's time to feed the worms. This my initiation, introductory statement. Fuck 'em all.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Shabrakatham, Yahweh Shemalatham, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. You already know what it is. We back at it again. The best show every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, which is the reason why we had a late start. You understand? What we got going on, we have Upsu 1000 Adiyar, Upsu 1000 Sharataza Halak. You understand? Upsu 1000 Shine One, your host doing the most, your least favorite priest from the east. You understand? The lightning of the Most High Barak, Yalla Ban Yam Yan. Wagwan.
Wagwan. Yeah, back to that.
Hey, Salak, the weather's getting, you know what I'm saying, proper right now. You know what I'm saying? It's looking good in Montreal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know for, you know what I'm saying, my brother over here, you know what I'm saying, in the north side, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, over here, you know what I'm saying, it's looking nice. Well, you know, man, they say the weather might be coming down and whatnot, but, you know what I'm saying, right now, it's looking nice in Montreal.
Damn right. It's looking amazing. You know, you hear the birds, you see the bees, the birds and the bees, the bees and the birds, the potential prospect ribs are walking outside. You're like, damn, which flower should I pick? Which one should I pollinate? That's a lot. Let me stop.
It's a lot, guy. It's not about flowers.
You understand? I know for a fact Sharataza has good weather all year long, unless they have a hurricane.
Right. I mean, I won't say that, man. Around the it's pretty sunny all the time over here, but it does rain, you know, often. And when it rains, it pours, man. It's a lot of rain. And I don't know what it is, but when it rains, it's a lot.
Well, it takes sun, and you gotta water her garden.
Yeah.
This nigga ain't talking about rain.
Damn, it's lucky. But then let's get it. Let's get it. You understand? We have the best show. We give you the One West perspective, One West Ground Zero. You understand? The best show that you have every Sunday. You better not be going to church. That's all I know. Damn. Listen, you better off tuning in to One West Ground Zero as opposed to going to church. I'm telling you right now. Why? Because in church, you're a whore. In church, you get your kids molested. In church, you're a sodomite. Google what a sodomite is, because we're trying to watch the channel. We got clipped for 1 week. Why? Because our oppressor is the devil. But right off watching this than watching whatever nonsense is going on in the church, especially if you're not denouncing the nonsense that's going on in the church. You understand? Right. So talking about that, we're going to segue into our first topic, which is about the church and how the church is traumatizing for every single person that goes there. And I'm talking about every single person. Really, we're more so focused on our people, but it's still traumatizing for everybody. Right. Watch this, right? Nick Cannon says losing his virginity at 13 during a church lock-in was traumatizing. He said one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life. We told you that long time ago. You understand? Like, the church is the institution that was running the what you call again, the residential schools, where they tortured and assaulted Native children throughout Canada. Listen, I don't even say Canada only. Canada is the most known about the residential school scandals, but it was Canada, The United States, Central and South America, now they're finding out, which is not common knowledge outside of Canada and America. Oh, they had residential schools in South America, in French Guyana, in Suriname. Yes, because there's native throughout the American continents. And the devil is a devil everywhere he is. You understand? It's no different if he speaks Dutch, French, English, Portuguese, Spanish. He does the same thing exactly wherever he's at. We're subjected under the same treatment. You know, not the church do not produce good fruits at all.
Right.
Salah.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah.
You absolutely right.
If I could jump in, you know, the scriptures talk about, you know, how the evil was given the power to rule this earth by that angel. In Revelations, it speaks on Abaddon or Apollyon, which means a destroyer. That angel of a destroyer, which is Satan or Shaitan. And he gave power to Europeans to rule this world. And I bring that up to say, you look at Donald Trump, he is a Christian. You know what I mean? A self-proclaiming Christian. They got over 2 billion Christians on this earth today. And it's like, if you can't see all the evil ruling this world, you're blind. The evil that rules this world is Christianity. That's every evil thing that happens on this earth is from that Christian church.
Right.
We got to wake up and understand that. You know what I mean? Satan's ruling this earth. The wicked are ruling this earth. They do that through Christianity. Every evil thing happens in that place. Salaki.
Khan. That's the crazy part is that, yo, when are we going to start seeing the church as evil? Like, tell me a good thing the church ever done. You know, they can't say, damn, he traumatized. Do you know how long it took? How long did it take for Nick Cannon to say something like that? This nigga's like, what, 40-some years old? You know, it took him years just to say, yeah, the church is traumatizing. Look at Diddy. Diddy is the product of the church. His mom was a whore, and because of the church. And then she traumatized him, and then he traumatized others. Hurt people. You understand? R. Kelly, he said he got molested in the church. In return, he molested as well. This is what the church produces. Like, when are we going to finally wake up and say, you know what, enough with the church? And don't believe that just to fight the white supremacy and the trauma of the church, you're going to become a Muslim. It ain't going to be no different. It's going to be the same thing, but speaking in Arabic. What are you going to do? Become a Buddhist? The Dalai Lama is sucking a little boy's tongues on live TV. You're going to do the same thing, but speak Mandarin. You're going to do what? Be a Hindu? You're going to do the same thing, but have dreads and smoke weed and run a 7-Eleven. That's what you don't understand. You know, the only way for you to be protected, like the scripture says, is this a sanctuary everywhere the Lord sets up that sanctuary, which is in the I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
That's it.
And so, like, if I may also, like, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we grew up, you know what I'm saying, like understanding, like, you know, if you have sex or sexual relations, you know what I'm saying, to say correctly over here, you know what I'm saying, with somebody that's older than you, you accomplish something. It's a lie. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, you know what I'm saying, like, because you have sex with somebody that's older when you're younger, you know what I'm saying, let's say you're 13 and you have sex with somebody that's 20, that's 30, it feels like, you know what I'm saying, in our community, like you did something good. Meanwhile, you are being molested. You are being, you are a victim. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you will become, you know what I'm saying, LGBT. You will become rainbow because you don't even understand what sex is at that age. You don't even understand, you know what I'm saying, like what you're putting yourself into, you know what I'm saying, the top, you know what I'm saying, like understanding that you should become one with that person once you have sex. But we think, you know what I'm saying, because the indoctrination, the Christian church, the lies, you know what I'm saying, that we don't see sex as marriage. And this is why a lot of our brothers, you know what I'm saying, think, what, you know what, if my son that's like 5 years old, I have sex with a 40 years old woman, it's an accomplishment. We have that mentality as a people, and we need to get rid of that mentality. Why? Because that child is being molested. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of white people, you know what I'm saying? You're seeing a lot of white people coming out, you know what I'm saying, today, where, you know what I'm saying, like they're having sex with their student and whatnot. Their teachers, and mostly women, you know what I'm saying? Mostly women having sex with their, you know what I'm saying, their student and whatnot. Why is it a crime? Because that child don't even understand like what sex is. That child doesn't even understand like what he should do. And meanwhile, you molesting that child. You know what I'm saying, like sexual, you know what I'm saying, like committing a crime on that child. So it's not something to, you know what I'm saying, to be worshipped or to be valued because, you know what I'm saying, you're 15 years old, you're having sex with a 40-year-old woman. It's not something to be valued. It is a effing crime. So like,
Wakan, and even then, it's like we brought this out with Cap Hadar, right? On our show, it's like sex became so underrated. It's like nobody sees how sacred is. Sex is not sacred no more. You just have friends with benefits, or some whatever people say these days, not knowing that really sex is marriage and it's sacred. You're with that. You should be with that person for life. There's nothing, like Christ said, there's nothing that could put you away, divide you, right? Once you link up with that person. And really, we're so accustomed from a young age, to be I don't want to say over sexualized, just sexualized in the first place. Even when you have sex ed in school, they teach you how to put a rubber on they teach you how to put a rubber, whatnot. They teach you about, how you could put a girl pregnant. Y'all got to be careful, protect yourself because of what you could catch, and then protect yourself because it takes one time to make a kid or whatnot. And then they don't even realize how, really they do realize, but it's like really more so indoctrination to sexualize the kids, but not being more so provocative and too forward with it. That's how we learned sex ed back in the days. Today you have trannies saying, "Oh, well, kids should be exposed to porn," and it's like, when are we gonna call out what's evil and just not hold our peace about, listen, this is evil and this is wrong, this should not be said, this is not be this there's a way to say certain things, there's a way to educate kids, there's a way to there's a way for everything, there's a time for everything. And these kids should not be focusing about intercourse. Listen, let kids be kids. Teaching kids from a young age, oh, look at the girl, how she shaped or whatnot. We're already from a young age looking at our the opposite sex, like, what, I'm looking at her physically. Like we don't know what it is to look for in a partner. Ain't nothing wrong in physical attraction, but this is the sole focus that we have when on how we're conditioned to look for a partner. She looked good, and that's it. I want to sleep with her. Now you don't give a damn about she's a dragon or not. And same for sisters. Like you're attracted by a man, and then you don't give a damn if he beat you across the side of the head. Now you understand that and this is how we're conditioned, and especially is really bad on all spectrums of it, because why? The kids are conditioned a certain way. The adults still have that childish mindset. How we know? Because that's all they rap about in the music. That's all they're focusing on. Now you have Megan Thee Stallion, racking up bodies. You understand? And you have these niggas. I just seen Wiz Khalifa, I think Amber Rose, which is a ugly ass devil, said she's trying to take custody from Wiz Khalifa's son. I remember, listen, there's gonna be in the kingdom, there's not gonna be any sexual depravity where where the sole focus is like, look at her shape or whatnot. You understand? The sister's talking about, I want a man with a six-pack and 6 figures and 6 feet tall. Nobody has their priorities straight. And we think, it's the man and the woman, but these men and women were conditioned from a young age on how to look at the women they're looking for and the men they're looking for, and vice versa. Salakia.
Yeah, that's big. That we're always going to speak on this in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? Like Christianity failed the black household. Christianity is who raised Nick Cannon's parents. You know what I mean? Nick Cannon's parents is who brought them in that Christian church. You know what I mean? And in that Christian church, he's sitting here saying, this is the worst thing that I ever went through, the most traumatizing thing I could have ever gone through. This is what happens inside of Christianity. We got to recognize that this is the fruits of the Christian church. The women he slept with at 13, they're Christians. They're good Christians. And those good Christians are terrible parents, terrible children, selfish, over-sexualized. Like Adiar was saying, you know, we thought at a young age it was, you know, it was a good thing to get these women under our belt. Why did we believe that? We're raised in Christianity with Christian beliefs, Christian doctrines. We continue this lifestyle of death, this lifestyle of trauma, you know, lifestyle of STDs and AIDS. You know what I mean? Getting sisters pregnant at the age of 13. This is all happening inside the Christian church. You know what I mean? Christ said, you know them by their fruits. And Christianity has proven to be the house of Satan again and again and again. Salakia.
Kawaka and Salaki, if I could add to that, that's another thing, right? Like, just like also Adi are saying, yourself, I don't want, like, we think it's an accomplishment to sleep with an older woman. Like, you're 13 years old and you're conditioned to like, yo, oh, you're 13, you're 15, you slept with a 30. I remember in high school, this nigga said, oh, I just slept with a MILF. This MILF and this that. Listen, you're being molested, and and this is the problem, right? We're conditioned to like, yo, you being molested, you're not being molested, but yes, you are. It's like when you're smoking weed. They tell you you're not a drug addict, but you are a drug addict. You know, you're not a criminal. You were hungry. That's why you stole the bread. Like it's damn near like it's not even sugarcoating at this point. It's even worse in making it seem what the Bible says. Though, well, I'm just going to paraphrase. You know, some call evil good and good evil. Listen, it quacks like a duck. It walks like a duck. It flies like a duck. It must be a duck. If you dress like a whore, you talk like a whore. You understand? You act like a whore. You have sausages in your mouth, Salakia. You know, you're a whore. But let's call a spade a spade. If you are underage and you partake in sexual intercourse, you know, with someone that's way older than you're being molested. That's it. You understand? And now we think it's an accomplishment. You slept with a 30-year-old woman. That woman knows that you're dumb, that you know you're extremely young and you're naive. She took advantage of you. You know, why we mentioned that woman, because you know it's not a discussion to know that a man is abusing a young girl and he's taking advantage of a young girl. But women do the same thing, like Officer Adiar just brought out. Most of these cases that are being brought to light right now is white women sleeping with their students. You know, like that's what needs to be talked about. Like, you're being abused and you're thinking, you know what? It's an accomplishment. It's not an abuse because I wanted to do it. No, you didn't. You were you're conditioned to think you want to sleep with that older woman who's just, you know, taking advantage of you, being conditioned to just being okay with being molested. And that's sexual depravity, in that norm of sexual depravity. That stems way back from the Greek Empire, the Greco-Roman Empire, pederasty. They normalized grown men. They didn't even call molesting. They just say normalized relationship between grown men and young boys from the age of 9 to 13. And you know, the crazy part about it is, well, it's already crazy enough, but they had a relationship with pederasty from the moment they're young, and when they become adults, they broke up. And that adult that was molested throughout these years, he repeats the same cycle of pederasty. Y'all can look it up. That's a fact. Salakia.
Yeah, man.
Not so y'all ready to move on though, but White man
Sherrod,
is the devil.
it's like a Sherrod, you want to add to it?
Nah, I mean, what y'all bringing out is heavy, man. That's why the Lord said in Zechariah 11:4, he said, "Thus said the Lord, my God, feed the flock of the slaughter." Like, we feed the flock, you know what I'm saying? And we possessed by the oppressor, and they unaliven us, and and the only way that we can stop is by coming together in this truth in the I.S.U.P.K. That's the only way this is going to stop, man. And the oppressor, when it says who's possessed the slay them and hold themselves not guilty, I mean, the oppressor is unaliving us, and they don't hold themselves guilty because all they got to say is, we unaliving ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So all they got to say is, look, we just trying to control these animals. So it's like it's high time for us to wake up in this place, man, and get out that Christian church, because it's not working for us, man. It's 2026, and if you still going to church, man, you asleep. You fast asleep in this place, and it's high time for you to wake up, because the I.S.U.P.K, we the ones, the men of the Lord, that's feeding the flock. We giving you the word of the Lord. We giving you the truth. We telling you what's going on. The problem is you don't want to hear it. And that's why you're going to go to church and bring your sons and daughters to church, and they're going to get molested. You know what I mean? But that's all I had on.
Right. So like, if I could add to that real quick before we move on, and that's the thing too, right? Everything will stop when we're in rulership. That new world order, it needs to be a new world order. The term new meaning something that has never been done before. What has never been done before? A rulership that has morals, a rulership that has structure, instructions. You understand? That will only be established in the kingdom of the Lord when Christ is ruling over everybody. You understand? Right. When we are the governing power, it says, when the righteous on authority, the people rejoice. Why? Because there's not going to be any molestation in our kingdom. There's not going to be any sexual depravity in our kingdom. There's not going to be any senseless killings and genocide in the kingdom. We have rules to govern. That's why everybody will be glad they're serving under us. It's always a problem when the white man's in power. People, listen, everybody's complaining. Even white people are complaining. You understand? The Arabs, listen, under the Muslim rule, even Muslims were complaining. That's why they have different factions of Muslims. They have to split up. You understand? The only rulership that will last forever is something that's perfect, that don't need to be changed. That's why we will last forever. Our rulership won't need to be changed. It won't need to be a reform or not, because it will be based, the blueprint will be the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. That's it. Salak, y'all. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. And now this is further proof that regardless of what you decide to follow, if it's not of the Lord, it is not to be followed. Watch this, right? It says, 22 Buddhist monk arrested in Sri Lanka for smuggling over 220 pounds of marijuana worth $3.4 million. Damn. Wasn't it a couple of years ago they got caught with meth or something like that? Or
yeah. Those outfits are the perfect tool to smuggle something.
And it's like a prostitution too.
Yeah. Listen, I thought these people are like, they have some sacred knowledge, the Buddhist knowledge. What do you mean? Damn.
And so like, if I may, right? Like a lot of like people would think like these people got some type of knowledge. You know why? Because they talk with a smooth voice, just like your pastors, just like your Christian preachers. They're like, yes, my daughter, yes, my girl, yes, my sister. You understand? They talk like this. Meanwhile, you think y'all saying they have a knowledge, or this is what you're saying, like the people in the world think that is wise or wisdom. Oh, it's so wise. Why? Yes, my daughter. Yes, my girl. Yes, my sister. You know what I'm saying? You think they're so wise because of that. Meanwhile, they're molesting everything that moves. Animals, children. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Everything. The tree. They're more or less the tree if they have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
why? Because
damn, the trees are not safe.
And why? Because you think, you know what I'm saying, because that smooth word, you want to hear smooth words, you know what I'm saying? You want to hear like, yes, my daughter, and this is what the monks been doing. Yes, we have the knowledge. We so wise. We so meanwhile they're doing, you know what I'm saying? They're into prostitution, they're smoking drugs, they're drug addict and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like there's stories that's coming out, you know what I'm saying? Like these MF, you know what I'm saying, suckers and whatnot, they're into, you know what I'm saying, they're drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? There's stories that come out, you know what I'm saying? Like now, as you can see, they're into drugs and prostitution as well. And why do you believe them? And why are you quick to give money to them? Yes, my daughter. Yes, my sister. You like people that talk smooth to you. You don't like people that talk rough to you. Be like, yo, what you did is wrong. Change your life. You don't want people to do that, you know what I'm saying, that is to you because you want smooth words. And that's in the Bible as well. We ready to hear smooth words. You know what I'm saying? Words that make us feel at ease. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear cursing like bitch. You a bitch. I'm gonna call you a bitch. We don't want to hear that. Well, sister, you're not a bitch. You're just somebody, you know what I'm saying, that was in the states of bitchness and whatnot.
Damn, bitches.
So, like, yeah, that'll conclude what I say.
Hey, so like, you know what I realized is that just like you said, the smooth word things, yo, you know what it sounds like? Master Yoda from Star Wars. That's what it is. This nigga says shit like this. Many of the truths that we cling to depend on our point of view. Nigga, what? Nigga said shit like patience. You must have, my young Padawan. You say some shit like that. People like, yo, knowledge. To be or not to be, but what
bitch,
is?
So like, bitch, you are not. You fuck. You love to.
Yeah, you say it like that, and it's like, yo, I never heard anything told to me in that way before. Knowledge, nigga. Listen, what's his name again? Gandhi. Gandhi. Listen, Gandhi. You know, people thought, oh, the Peace Nobel Prize, Gandhi this, Gandhi that. Gandhi was a child molester, and he was a racist. He called black people monkeys and all type of things. He was sleeping naked, talking about he practiced in chastity. This man was sleeping naked with young girls in his bed, talking about he's practicing chastity. People revere Gandhi as the knowledge of East India, the pride of East India. Gandhi was a pedophile and a racist. You understand? The Dalai Lama, apparently his followers are smuggling all drugs, all types of drugs, meth, methamphetamine, cocaine. They put the bag and weed under the robes while he's sucking on little boy's tongue on TV. And we think the Dalai Lama, the great knowledge. We're talking about, you know, the peace of Islam, and then we read the Hadith. Come on, man. Listen, the Bible tells you this, that every nation looks at Israelite as a wise nation. We're the smartest people on the planet. We're the wisest people on the planet because we have the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, these other nations, they bring you COVID because they eat bats. They eat rats. Like, imagine eating an animal that carries rabies. Imagine eating an animal that is being blamed for the Black Plague. And then you're talking about the Chinese are the smartest people on earth, man. Listen, that's propaganda. The Chinese are dumb as hell. You understand? How do we know? Damn, they got caught smuggling weed. Didn't you not know that it's illegal to smuggle drugs? You're supposed to be the smartest people on the earth, and you're a Buddhist monk. That's not very quote unquote holy. Salakia.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, these MF, you know what I'm saying? These MF suckers and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They're vile, you know what I'm saying? And just like Shawan said, you know what I'm saying? They are, you know what I'm saying? They could smuggle, you know what I'm saying, things over here because why? Because people would think, you know what I'm saying, they're so wise. We're not gonna look into them. You know what I'm saying? They're religious, they're Christians. You know what I'm saying? And they could smuggle, you know what I'm saying, like things. And me, why you say, you know what I'm saying, like the Dalai Lama, you know what I'm saying, was sucking on little children's tongue. That's something that was live. He was live, you know what I'm saying? Dalai Lama sucking on children's tongue. Imagine what he's doing, you know what I'm saying, in private.
Damn.
And this is why we say, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it is not something that is fruitful for a young young child to have sex with a older person. Why? Dalai Lama is doing it as well. It is child molesting. It's a lie.
And if I could too, I want to pull a scripture, Jeremiah 23:14, to piggyback on the pastors you was talking about y'all.
This nigga, it's a lie. This nigga with the video. God damn.
Good. Nah.
The filthy.
Yeah, he's sucking that tongue like God damn.
Disgusting, man.
Good night. Like, you can't make this up. That's I thought he was a wise man.
And so like Sharatas and Barakala, why these motherfuckers not arrested?
Right.
Not in jail. This is pedophilia in front of the whole public. Meanwhile, this motherfucker, it's a lot. This MF sucker will have a seat in the UN and talk about, you know what I'm saying? Well, we need this in the world and whatnot. He's sucking on, you know what I'm saying, on little children's tongue. And that's what we sing in public. Meanwhile, he will have a seat in the effing UN, you know what I'm saying, and parliament and talk. You know what I'm saying? Be paid to talk.
Right,
you know
right.
Commander General, you need to, you know what I'm saying, be in the UN and talk.
Commander
General needs to, you know what I'm saying, to be in where black people business is and talk. Not the Dalai Lama, you know what I'm saying? You will never find the Commander General sucking on, you know what I'm saying, little children's tongue. That's why we follow Commander General, because he's a man of integrity. Meanwhile, your Dalai Lama, hey, do I have to say it? He's a damn child molester sucking on little children's tongue. That's what we're seeing. That was live in public for you to see. And that's your Christian preacher. That's your exactly, you know what I'm saying, who you follow. We don't follow men like this in the UPK. We follow men of integrity. We follow men of righteousness inside the I.S.U.P.K. You want to follow people outside? Go ahead and do so. But you will become like them, though. So, go ahead, Sharatazar.
Gone, man. Like, man, Salaki, if I could, you know, this is what the Christian church pattern after. You know what I'm saying? These are the pastors do the same thing. They're no different, man. Like, Jeremiah 23:14 reads, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. Right. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. Like the pastors and their congregation is gay. Like it's unto the Lord as Sodom and Gomorrah, man, because like black people, black and brown people, they Jerusalem. You got God people committing adultery by following another doctrine. They're not following the word of the Lord. They're not following the truth in the I.S.U.P.K. They're following another doctrine. They're following the same doctrine that thing that was up there putting his tongue in that little boy. That's why our people are so immoral today. And they strengthen your hands by lying to you. That's what they do. The pastors don't want no one to stop doing evil. You see them do evil, so you do the same evil. You see what I'm saying? And God called all of them gay. I'm going to jump to verse 16. Jeremiah 23:16. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart and not out of the mouth of the Lord. They make you nothing to the Most High. The Lord is saying, don't listen to these pastors. It's right here in the scriptures. He said, don't listen to them because they make you vain. They make you nothing to the Most High. They strengthen your hands to sin even more, become more immoral every Sunday, every day. You go to that damn church every Sunday and become more and more immoral. And you think you're doing something positive and changing your life. You're not. That's what I had on it, man.
If I could touch on one thing, You know, what Shratazar said was so heavy in that scripture. Like when it's speaking on strengthening the hand of the evildoer, is like we support, you know, men like the Dalai Lama. We support, you know, the Donald Trump and whatever wicked ruler or leader there is, and then next you know, their congregation is smuggling marijuana. You know what I mean, wherever they want, because like you've given them strength by supporting evil people. You give your money to them, your resources to them, and who knows what kind of, you know, drug trafficking operation they have, but they're able to do it because we strengthen that. We support all their bullshit. And now all these people have to die. Now a bunch of people have to be, you know, drug addicts, addicted to weed, addicted to cocaine, addicted to drugs, and you destroy so many lives because of it. You know what I mean? And Christ spoke about that, you know, and we support those. What was it? The brother who, don't want to misquote it. It's in Matthew, but basically, you know, it's speaking on how we support the leaders. You know, we support them and we give them their tithes just so that we can hear that we're godly people. I'm paraphrasing, but it's because we're evil as a people. You know, we don't look at ourselves and say we have to change. We look at ourselves and say, hey, we want to be drug addicts. We want to smoke weed. And so we support our evil leaders. We support these evil leaders that help support other evil leaders. And drugs just run rampant in our community. Drugs run rampant on the earth. You know what I mean? Until we get sick of all the destruction on this earth, we're not going to change. You know, like Adiyar said, why isn't this man in the prison? You know what I mean? You can suck a little boy's tongue in front of the entire earth and he's not in prison. Why? Because we allow that nonsense. We accept evil. We don't have a problem with it. You probably sucking on a boy's tongue, you know, in your own goddamn house.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Lord knows what evil things you're doing behind closed doors. You know what I mean? So we got to stop being hypocritical. We got to start, you know, building compassion on other people. You know what I mean? We don't want, you know, someone to sell drugs to our children. So why would you support the Dalai Lama? Why would you support the Christian church? Why would you support Donald Trump, a government who brings millions of pounds of cocaine into a country? We got to really, you know, evaluate ourselves as a people and say, okay, I don't want this to happen to my loved ones. I'm not going to support this for other people. I'm not going to support this wicked leader, no matter what bullshit I'm doing on in my own house. You know what I mean? I got to change. You know, and Christ said, that's why he said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. You don't check yourself and you don't start being something different. You're never going to inspire change. You know what I mean? You're never going to start building a kingdom of heaven. You're going to continually support this nonsense going on in this world. Salaki.
And Salaki, if I could real quick out of one. I had to listen to people. Listen, people don't really know nothing. I call people stupid all the time because I realize really nobody knows shit. Watch this, right? A Buddhist monk is an ordained, usually male monastic who has renounced worldly life to follow the Buddhist teaching. Nigga, you smuggling drugs. You're a trapstar. How about renounce worldly life? A couple years ago, y'all smoking meth. Now y'all smuggling all the weed in the world to Sri Lanka. What worldly life did you renounce? It says living by strict vows of celibacy, poverty, and non-violence. We just got the clip. He's
Salaka, that's the lie that he renounced, having sex with women.
Right.
Now he's having sex with everything. Everything except a woman. That's the lie he renounced. Just say right.
I hide those trees from him, Salaki.
Man, I'm not having sex with no woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's the life that they're renouncing. No sex with women. We have sex with everything else. But hey, priest, if you could, can you share my, my screen, but question?
Kawaka.
The
What's
first
going
thing we
on?
see over here, right?
Damn.
Yeah,
Monks held with porn,
monk
sex toys, and
held with.
prostitutes. Damn.
Wait. With the porn, we got that. The sex toys. What are they using the sex toys on?
Damn.
What's going on with the sex toys? Salakia.
No
You know what I'm saying?
Sakari.
Like monk held. You know what I'm saying? The sex toys is crazy. A prostitute list in Thailand. Let's go down further. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, Thailand?
Hold on.
Bangkok?
Yeah.
Damn.
God.
Say less.
Police. Buddhist monk military officer use 10 sex ring.
What? Damn.
Those, you know what I'm saying?
Wait.
This is what we tell you. Like, just go ahead.
No, Salaki, other one. You see what it says on there? It says white monks enjoyed male prostitutes. Wait, what? Good night.
God, that's what the celibacy is about. You understand? It's not having sex with no woman. They're having sex with men and children. This is why the Dalai Lama was sucking. He wasn't sucking on a woman tongue. He was sucking a little boy tongue. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Popular Thai monk defrocked in sex scandal. Monk disrobed for brothel hopping. Trading sex for karma in Thailand.
It's Salaki out of the way.
Oh, should we go?
Salaki, so you see this? You see when we chill, right? We go bar hopping, we go club hopping. These niggas go brothel hopping. It's crazy. In Thailand, the land of Decepticons, he's like sex toys and little prostitutes. You can't make this up.
The land of cocks.
Damn. All right.
But
damn. Talking about nasty work.
Good. The land of cocks. That's what they do.
You know the Dalai Lama got the Nobel Peace Prize. This man's 90 years old, molesting kids on camera. Now you want to talk about Epstein? Listen, every single other nation outside the nation of Israel would be on Epstein's island. This is let me say this. This is an Epstein society. Mm-hmm. Epstein's island. America was Epstein's island since 1492. Europe was Epstein's island during the Greco-Roman Empire. Yeah. Apparently, China as well, the Tibet, Dalai Lama, East India. They're complaining in Pakistan. The women are complaining because there is no law against rape in Pakistan or in one of those regions over there. In Afghanistan, they can marry 9-year-olds and they molest boys, the Bachabazi. Like, this is an Epstein planet. This is why our rulership is needed. Because our rulership would prevent any type of sexual depravity. You understand? Like, you see how East Indian Pakistani women complain about not being protected from rape, being raped on train and whatnot. That's why they need Israelite rulership. Because Israelite rulership, that would not be allowed. As opposed to when they're in India or in Pakistan or Bangladesh, wherever they are, and that happens and they're not protected, they allow it. In Afghanistan, the little boys would not be crying. Like, parents would not be selling their boys to rich families to be dressed as a little girl and molested. Under our rulership, that would not be allowed. Okay. You understand? You couldn't complain about these little girls are getting married at 9-year-old. That would not be allowed in our rulership. That's why our rulership is needed. And it says again, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Nobody will ever cry. Nobody will ever mourn. Nobody will ever complain about any injustice on the planet. Why? Because the righteous will be in authority. Salakia.
Salaka, why you saying that? A lot of people might say like Rebecca was like 3 years old and whatnot. That's not in the Bible. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying, Rebecca, you know what I'm saying, was going, you know what I'm saying, like get water and everything. So a 3-year-old, you know what I'm saying, like little daughter will go get some water, you know what I'm saying, with a jug and whatnot. It doesn't even make sense. The same thing with Mary. They will say Mary was underage and whatnot. Mary was having a full conversation with an angel. You know what I'm saying? A full grown-up conversation with an angel. That doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, if you not, you know what I'm saying, like have a mentality of a grown person. If you're not grown, the angel wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying, entertain that. So that these are lies that they push in the Bible and whatnot. Meanwhile, this is the culture of your oppressor in every other nation that's on the face of the earth. But it is not your culture. You doing voodoo and whatnot, it will be your culture, you know what I'm saying? Because you follow after the Africans. That's what the Africans do. Meanwhile, this is not our culture. You know what I'm saying? We have women that are ripe. You know what I'm saying? Just like about, you know what I'm saying, like you get a flower and whatnot. You want to get, you know what I'm saying, a strawberry. I have a plant of strawberry right now. It's not ripe yet. It's not ready yet. I'm not gonna pick that strawberry. You know what I'm saying? But when it's ripe, when it's good, I'm gonna pick it. The same thing with a it's the same thing about, you know what I'm saying, our culture. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, you know what I'm saying, just like you know what I'm saying, with the first topic, you know what I'm saying, like children are not supposed to have sex with older women. All young boys are not supposed to have sex with older women. You know what I'm saying? This is child molesting. If you're doing like the Dalai Lama, you just like the Buddhist monk, you just like Trump, you just like, you know what I'm saying, those white supremacists that's having sex with everything. So like,
And Salak, y'all one. That's also because I know you mentioned the flower of age, and that's one. Well, that's one body. Because I mentioned that too. For all the Muslims who say, "Well, in the Bible says the flower of age or whatnot," you know, about a woman. See, that's how we know y'all don't understand the Bible. Because when you go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 29, chapter 26, verse 19, and I'm gonna pull it up real quick. You understand? It mentioned the flower of the age of a man. So how you gonna argue that it means that once her woman has a period, then she's good to go? That's what the Muslims argue about all the time. The flower of her age, the flower of her age. What about the flower of his age? You understand? See, we know you don't know the Bible. Just say it. Listen. What is it again? Ecclesiasticus 26 and 19. My son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers. What are you gonna say then? Am I supposed to bleed once a month?
well, the Dalai Lama was right. He's sucking on, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
That's the power of his age. You know what I'm saying? He's sucking on his tongue.
The Dalai Lama is fading away. This nigga 90 years old. This nigga fading away. But
Man.
let's talk about the prime of a person. You understand? A 9-year-old is definitely not in her prime. No matter she's 9, no matter she's 15, she's not in her prime. She's 18, she's not in her prime. You understand? That's for all you Muslims that like to use the flower of her age. Now, explain to me the flower of his age. Right? Salakia.
Salakia, Barak. From now on, you know, any woman mentioned in that Quran, they're gonna prove to me that she's over the age of 6. You know what I mean? It don't say nowhere in our Bible what age they were, and we actually have scriptures to sit here and be able to defend, you know, what it is we believe and what it is we stand on. These laws, statutes, and commandments. They can't prove that women are over the age of 6, over 7. You know what I mean? They just talking foolishness. They're looking for a reason, you know, to continue the effery they're doing.
So like,
yeah, go ahead, sir.
If I may, that come from Jewish commentaries, you know what I'm saying? Like Jewish commentaries. And
Right.
this is what you have in the Talmud, where, you know what I'm saying, like who have sex with a child, with a daughter, you know what I'm saying, a daughter that's like, you know what I'm saying, like 3 years old and whatnot. It
God.
comes from that. Comes
Yeah,
from
the
those.
Talmud is diabolical. That's why they're raping Palestinians. Because it's in the Talmud. You understand? That's what we tell you. Listen, that's why you know these people are not the real Jews. Like you could tell by their actions. It's supposed to be the Holy Land. They're about to have the gayest, not Slovakia, the biggest pride parade in the Middle East. Why is there even a pride parade on the Holy Land in the first place?
Salakia, they had one, you know what I'm saying, next to Sodom and Gomorrah. They had one next, you know what I'm saying?
They were chanting during the when they were protesting to sexually assault Palestinian prisoners. They were chanting in Yiddish, "This is Sodom. This is Sodom." Aren't you supposed to be a chosen people of God? Talking about this is Sodom. Damn, Salakia. The synagogue of Satan. The Bible calls you. Listen, that's what every class I do. This is not anti-Semitic. This is not racist. This is not hateful. The Bible calls these people bastards. every single class I have to mention that, yo, we're the real Jews, not these bastards over there that are dwelling in the land of Ashdod. I'm quoting Zechariah. It says, you are bastards and you are of the synagogue of Satan. It's a lot. You can move on to the next thing.
Salaka, Sharatas, are you wanted to add?
I'm to
All right, that's what.
the what?
It says, all eligible young men aged 18 to 25 will be automatically registered for the U.S. military draft. Hey, big up Commander YAHANNA. He is a true prophet. Listen, Commander YAHANNA told you y'all about to get drafted. Y'all said no, it's impossible to get drafted. You know how many people talk about it can't be a draft? And I seen something too, right? Recently, I'm gonna see counsel on that with the men above us. What I've seen is that a lot of countries are banning social media for everybody under 16. Now, is it a coincidence that, you know, the Lord is opening up the internet and the airways?
Right.
There's all types of news that you could look on social media. Everybody knows social media is the new flyer. You know, is it a coincidence? Now they're gonna read about Palestine and the war and the famine and everything. Is it a coincidence? I don't think so, but I'm not gonna speculate. But the draft is real. How do we know? Because Commander YAHANNA told you. Now, how can he be a prophet? Because he told you that it will happen and it's happening. That's how you know a prophecy is real. When it's prophesied that it will happen and it comes to pass, that's how it's being validated. Now, Commander YAHANNA told you about the draft and you still want to question the I.S.U.P.K, you should shut your mouth. Salak.
Salaki, I'll add one thing, you know, on this topic. You know, this is also the fault of, you know, brothers like Martin Luther King, who fought so hard to be integrated, you know, with his oppressor. We should have understood that we're a different people. You know what I mean? We should have seen the oppression of blacks, seen the oppression of Hispanics and indigenous, and said, we need our own army. We need our own military structure, our own government. We should have fought to have the kingdom of heaven here on earth, just like Christ said. You know what I mean? Where we would have our own land, our own nation, so that we wouldn't be caught up in this bullshit. You're going to sit here and get drafted, you know, into a nation that has continually oppressed you. You know what I mean? Even look historically, how many wars did we fight in and reap none of the benefits? Our ancestors fought for different rights and got none of the rights. Our ancestors joined the army thinking we'd be free from slavery, found out that was a lie, went right back into bondage. You know what I mean? Like, we should have never integrated with these people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, since we have integrated, shoot, I would rather sit in a jail cell, you know what I mean, than go and fight for our oppressor. You want to give me 10 years in jail not to join your army? No sweat. I'll sit in that jail cell. I am not fighting for these people. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's such a sad thing to see that this is what brothers like Martin Luther King fought for. To be integrated into a place that has continually abused us. They what is it? What they fought for equality and fought for the right to work. Well, why is the wage gap the highest it's ever been? 2026, that wage gap keeps continually growing. That white man going to work is making money. Your black ass is getting, you know, the crumbs of the table, that minimum wage, just fighting, you know, to survive inside of this place. And now we got to fight in his military. Man, I'll sit in that jail cell. Salaki.
Hey, Salaki, if I could add real quick, you know what's crazy is this, right? You don't have to get drafted. I'm telling you right now. I just read an article. There is an investigation in Peru where people are getting kidnapped and human trafficked for what? Just to be sent to war. Listen, when we tell you, yo, you better separate yourself, from these people spiritually. It's gonna be a harsh wake-up call. I have this article right here that says Peru is investigating human trafficking. The people are being trafficked to be sent to war in Ukraine. You're going to be kidnapped and sent to war in Afghanistan. Anywhere that's going to war. You're going to go to war in Iran. You're going to go to war in America. Wherever the war is, you're going to be going to war. You understand? Like, you think you're going to evade the draft because you feel like, I don't want to go? Listen, if you don't separate from this oppressor as we're commanded to, you won't have to get drafted. Trust me. You see in the movies, you get snatched up in a van by the men in black. You'll get snatched up in a van. You'll wake up on the battlefield. That's what's going to happen. Watch the movie. What's it called again? The movie, The Tomorrow War, or The War of Tomorrow, with the cat that played in the Guardians of the Galaxy, the white man. Listen, all these movies reflect reality. Y'all about to go to war, but not against aliens. You could call them aliens if you feel like. You're going to go to war with the nigger king and 200 million nigger angels. You understand? Sent by the nigger god to free nigger spics and savages, the real biblical Israelites. That's what's going to happen. It's a lot.
Yeah, if I could add, one more thing. Because, I was just thinking about it. Could you imagine being a Cuban brother inside of America, getting signed up for that war, and then Trump sends you over to Cuba to kill your own people?
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, the war isn't just over there. You know what I mean? We know World War III is going to take place in the Middle East. You know what I mean? Understanding these prophecies, but Trump is sending his troops down to Venezuela. You know what I mean? He's oppressing different islands, trying to get all that oil to help fund his war. You know what I mean? Countries need oil in order to go to war. Imagine being a Cuban brother, getting drafted into this place, and then Trump sends you to Cuba to go unalive your own people. You know what I mean? That would make me sick to my stomach. You know what I mean? Like, we really gotta be aware of the times, what it is we're doing. You know what I mean? Commanding General YAHANNA and the I.S.U.P.K, we've already said, this draft comes up and you want to find a way out of it, you better get in this school so that you can find protection.
Right.
Because out in this world, I can't even say Lord be with you. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be in a world of hell. Salakia.
Khan, and we could segue to one of the next topics, right? This cat said exactly what you're talking about when it comes to, imagine being a Cuban in America, just being sent to Cuba to unalive other Cubans. So this cat said, let's make it so hard for them to live, to work, to procreate, to do anything in the U.S. that they have no choice but to self-deport. He's talking about the mainly the Latino, not saying mainly the Latinos. He's talking about Latinos, Haitians, Jamaicans. He's talking about everybody. You understand? And what you said is already happening. ICE agents are Latinos, are niggas. You understand?
Wow.
Oppressing their own people. Police officers, military, oppressing their own people. Now he's saying, yo, and that's biblical because the Bible says they know they have but a short time. So what? They're going to come with wrath upon us. Listen, they're going to do the most. They're going to be even more oppressed than you ever were. Man said we're going to make their lives so miserable, they're going to want to leave America. That's what this man said. He said, Salaki, let me put it back on stage. He said, let's make it so hard for them to live, to work, as if it's not already hard to live and work in America, in Canada, in the UK, to procreate, to do anything in the US that they have no choice but to self-deport. If you tell me that this is not Egypt, this is not Babylon, listen, do not have a conversation with me, because I don't have time to have conversation with drug addicts like that. Like, you trying to explain to me how we're not slaves. This is exactly what happened in Egypt. You understand? Right. This literally is what happened in Egypt. They were tired of the Israelites. They didn't want the Israelites over here. They oppressed the Israelites even more. They say, yo, we're gonna make them suffer even more. What happened? Israelites kept multiplying. It's like today, you trying to kill us and feed us to alligators, deport us and lynch us and whatnot. You can't get rid of blacks, Latinos, and natives. You try to decimate the Native American Indians, and they're still here. You try to deport and kill all the Latinos, they're still here. You understand? You try to do all type of atrocity to black people, we're still here. You understand? And now you're about to do the most. Listen, it's time for you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native, to come into the school if you want to be safe. This is the only safe haven you have. You want to go in the Black Panthers, you want to go to Brown Berets, you want to go in whatever grassroots movement to get the land back, feel free to do so, but you will not be safe from the oppression that the white man is about to make rain down upon you. I'm telling you right now. This is how devoted they are to get rid of you. They said, we're going to make their life so miserable and so insufferable that they're going to want to leave. That's what he said. It don't matter what means, by any means necessary, they're going to do it. And there's only one thing you should trust white people on, is when they say they're going to do something evil, trust me, they will do it. They say they're going to get the land back. Anything that sounds too good to be true, anything that sounds remotely good, it doesn't matter if it's too good to be true. It just sounds good. It sounds nice. It sounds positive. Believe it, that they're not going to do it. Now, if it's something negative as far as eating bloody red meat, Salakia, committing a genocide, Trump says he's going to bomb Iran, or they're gonna do something atrocious. It's negative. It involves unaliving. It involves sexual depravity. It involves oppression. Anything negative, wicked, bad, evil, they said they're going to do it, believe it. That's the only instance where you could actually believe the white man and take him up on his words. Salakia.
Hey, all I want to say is the oppressor is the damn devil the Bible speak of.
That's right.
Damn right. Oh, oppressor is the devil.
Let me add something, man. I'm gonna get Ezekiel 35:5, right? It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, right? And hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Listen, perpetual is a endless hatred, man. Endless hatred that they have for us. We done been through slavery. We done been lynched on trees, burnt alive, burnt in hot oil, everything. You know what I'm saying? You could think of all the atrocities. And all these people could think about is kill, 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 kill. Blacks and Hispanics. Let's make their life harder and harder and harder and harder. Let's torture them more and more and more and more. That's all they could think about. Like General Hyman said, these people are sore winners. You have the entire planet Earth. You run the planet Earth. You have all the money, all the fame, the mansions, the nice cars. You have everything. And you're a sore winner. You have white privilege. You know what I'm saying? And you're just a sore winner. They shed our blood, man. That's the only tool that they want to use on us, is the sword. In the time of our calamity, in the time when we most vulnerable. What are we doing? We don't do nothing to you, but the Hispanics don't do nothing but go out there and sell fruits, sell flowers on the corner, on the street, trying to make a living to provide for their children and their families. And what are you thinking about doing in your mansion, in the White House, in your penthouse? What are you thinking about doing? Hurting us more. Trying to, plot and scheme on how can we oppress and hurt the children of Israel even more. This is why the Lord said we got to come together, man. We got to come together. We got to gather ourselves together, O nation not desired. We are the nation that's not desired. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You don't see, we are going through the same thing. Blacks and Hispanics. We the nation that's not desired. Nobody likes us. You know what I'm saying? When we gonna like ourselves, when we gonna love ourselves enough to come together and put aside all our differences and come together and say to hell with this with America. You see what I'm saying? You know?
Salaka, if I may, you know what I'm saying, just to piggyback on what you said, Officer Shiraz is on, you know what I'm saying, like the verse that you brought is necessary. Why? Because it said, like, you know what I'm saying, the Esau, the Edomites will have a perpetual hatred for the Israelites. Well, if the Jewish man is a Jew, why you know what I'm saying, they're not hated by white people? Why white people are helping the Jewish people? Meanwhile, the scriptures, the same, you know, saying, to knock that you're trying to use and say, well, this is about us. Say, like, the, you know, saying, those Edomites, those white people will have a perpetual hatred for you, for the real Jews. So, are you really a Jew? Because, you know what I'm saying, like, we don't see like the hatred, you know what I'm saying? They saved you, you know what I'm saying, from Hitler. Well, we could say it like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it like that because I know the story. But you know what I'm saying, like, they, you know what I'm saying, still today, you know what I'm saying, like, America is giving you money. You know what I'm saying? Canada is giving money to the fake Jews and whatnot. They're not supposed to do that right now. Why? Because Esau is supposed to have a perpetual hatred for the real Jews, for the Israelites, like it, for the Israelites. So how come they don't hate y'all? How come they hate us? How come they hate Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian? How come? And the thing is, bring it in the spiritual realm, right? What have we done to white people for them to hate us? Think about it, Akim. White people, you know what I'm saying, came in Africa, took the Jews, you know what I'm saying, the African was selling the Jews to the Arabs before, you know what I'm saying, now they took us, they sold us to white people. We never done nothing to white people. You done every ugly thing, every fucking, you know what I'm saying, things, you know what I'm saying, on the face of the earth that's against us. Why would you still be mad at us? Why would you just be like, you know what? We got to build the KKK against black people. Why? We never did nothing to you. Yes, I understand we're Haitian. We fought and we won the independence. Why? Because you know what I'm saying, we had to go against oppression, against the harsh oppression that you was putting us under. Anybody will do that. You know what I'm saying? Even in your laws say, you know what I'm saying, like, well, we got to have guns to revolt against the government if the government is oppressing us. So that's what we did as Asians. So why do white people hate Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians so much? It is in that verse that you just brought, you know what I'm saying, Sharatazam. We never did nothing to white people. We didn't do nothing to white people. We're still here and trying to love white people. We're in the Christian church loving white people. We over here in the military loving white people. We even voting. We voting, you know what I'm saying, for white people. We voting for Trump or Biden. Why? Because we're trying to love white people. Meanwhile, white people, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, have something against us for no reason. What have we done to them? What have we done to white people for them to hate us so much? And this is the explanation of the verse that you just read. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they have a perpetual hatred against us. It is something that is spiritual. No matter what, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to love white people, they will always hate you. There's a story, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't want to bring that story out, but just to, you know what I'm saying, piggyback on it. There's a story where a mother, as a white mother, as a child, you know what I'm saying, with a black father, and she hated that child so much that she did certain things on that child. Y'all could look that story up and whatnot. She did certain things on that child because she hated that child. But this is, you know what I'm saying, like, white people don't hate Jewish people. If you're the real Jews, they're supposed to hate you. If you're the real Israelite, they're supposed to hate you. Meanwhile, they hate us. They hate Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians so much that you see exactly what's happening today. That you see, you're saying, like, wait, we gotta go. You're saying, like, they gotta kidnap us for us to go fight for them. And I'm saying that to every so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Don't fight for white people. You know what I'm saying? If they send you to war, they kidnap you, just chill and cool with the people. Just chill and cool with the people. Hey, talk about Commanding General YAHANNA. Well, you know what? There's a man named Commander YAHANNA in the States and whatnot. And next thing you know, these people, you know what I'm saying, will start talking about the UPK. Just do that. All right? Just do that. But don't go fight for white people. Salaki.
It's like y'all don't want. If I could just add to what you just said, you know, we haven't done nothing for white people to hate us.
Yeah.
It's white people's fault. Even the Bible says it. If I could bring out a quick precept, it's Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, not because something was done unto you, because thou hast done this. And we know the serpent is our oppressor. You understand? Serpent is not an actual snake, it's a man. You understand? That same spirit is that white man today, the Caucasian race. Nobody done nothing to them. They done something. They're the perpetrators. They have always been since the Garden of Eden. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Again, it's a metaphor. It's referring to people, to nations. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. They will be low down, dirty bastards for the rest of their lives, as they have proven through their actions. Verse 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, who Eve, and between thy seed and her seed, between your children and her children. You understand? It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Listen, I don't even know. Do we really have to break this down? Jacob and Esau? Jacob holding Esau's heel? You understand? That perpetual hatred has been since the Garden of Eden. That enmity since the Garden of Eden, since the beginning of times. You understand? It's not like something we done. Again, they did something. They're the one who tricked Eve into tricking Adam into eating not the apple. There was no goddamn apples over there. You understand? But into disobeying the Lord. You understand? They're the one who did it. They are the problem. Not us. Salakia. We can move on to the next one. Does anyone wanted to add something?
You're so right. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's the enmity you bringing out is heavy, because that's the conflict you see between Jacob and Esau, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the oppressor. It's a constant conflict between us. You know what I'm saying? And that's the enmity. You know what I mean? Like, we've been telling you this since 1969, but you want to sit up there and listen to Pastor Pork Chop. You know what I mean? You want to listen to Pastor Pork Chop. You got to get out the church, man, and come listen to the priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K, the men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you're going to understand what the hell is going on the earth, man. You're not ever going to understand what's going on the earth by sitting up in that Christian church, learning nothing, singing and dancing. The Lord is a man of war. You know what I mean? Christ is about war. Christ didn't come to bring no damn peace on earth. You know what I mean? He's about war, man. He don't want to hear your songs. What kind of man are you to be singing love songs to another man? If you ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is that, brother? Get out the church. The church is full of sissies, man. You know, I'm gonna say it in Creole, my CCs. How you say it in patois? What's the word in patois?
Bate boy.
Bate boy. The church is full of bate boys, maricons, my CCs. You sit up in the church singing love songs to Jesus, to Yahweh. He don't want to hear that garbage. Would you sing love songs to another man? So what makes you think Christ want to hear that garbage? Wants you to sing love songs to him while you tap dancing and dancing in the church and clapping your hands in the tambourine with your tight ass pants and suit and tie on. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta wake up. It's 2026. Get the hell out the church, man. That's all I got, man.
Come, Most High in Christ. We got a couple more.
These are what we would call professional gangsters. So I like to make the differentiation that there are some people who come under the guise of student visas, and these are professional gangsters from India, with the sole purpose to come to Canada to commit crimes. And the CBSA has been tampering down on that. And so we have seen that a lot of these people have been arrested and deported. And so what the gangs are trying to do now is to say, okay, well, we don't want to risk our professional gangsters. So let's go and let's try to track down international students to have them commit our crimes as well. And so we saw with the arrests that were taking place in January that those extortion.
Hey, listen. Do we have... I didn't pause the video. That's probably the devil. That's probably one of the professional gangsters. They're watching the live. It's that. Listen, I have a clip. I think it's Tyler Oliveira. I'm gonna see if I can find the clip. What someone else chimes in, right? I think it's in Toronto. Is it Vaughan in Toronto? It's somewhere in Ontario. These international students are enrolling in colleges that do not exist. They make up the college. They get student loans. You know, they apply for credit cards. They max out their credit cards and whatnot. And do you know the biggest illegal immigrant in America and in Canada is East Indians and Chinese. It's not Mexicans. It's not Haitians. It's these professional gangsters that are coming here under the guise of international students. Like you would think there's again on the topic of Chinese are the smartest people. That's the lie, because they would have known to not eat an animal that brings the Black Plague. Now they brought COVID, right? East Indians are told, well, they're doctors. Filipinos are nurses. Listen, East Indians come over here, and listen. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have never seen one East Indian doctor in Canada. They're supposed to be the doctors. I haven't seen a doctor yet. I've seen them running the corner shop where they sell cigarettes or whatnot. You know, I see. Listen, they commit the most fraud in Canada. You're talking about Black people being criminals. The people making the headlines, especially on the West Coast and in Toronto, it's East Indians. They have gangs. They have political warfare from India to Canada and everything. But then they want to blame us. Listen, that's an East Indian man telling you that East Indians are professional criminals. And I don't remember if people remember, right? The word thug is short for thuggy, which is an East Indian gang. If you are a thug, you could only really be classified as a thug if you're an East Indian. By definition, Salakia.
Yeah, if I could jump in on this topic, every couple of weeks, because I follow, the different police watches in different cities in Canada, and every couple of weeks, like it's so consistent. You are gonna see cops make a major drug bust. $5 million seized, guns seized, $1 million in cocaine seized, and every single time it is an East Indian, a white man, or an Asian man. Every single time. You know what I mean? And it's like, and Donald Trump, he recognized that when he got in office. He was like, I got to stop Canada from bringing all these East Indians, into our borders or into our country, because East Indians are the drug kingpins of Canada. You know what I mean? You would think that it's the Black man because of all the social media and the movies and the propaganda that they put on Hispanics and Indigenous. Oh, Indigenous, they're such drug addicts on those reservations. Bullshit. Salakia, East Indians, they love drugs. That white man, he loves drugs. He's fighting in the Parliament of Canada to have, safe injection sites so he can get high off heroin every single day of the week. This is your oppressor, the East Indian and the Asian man. They're your drug addicts. They're your drug kingpins.
Right.
They just had the largest drug kingpin was, what was his name? Ryan Weddings, a European snowboarder. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get off this propaganda that they're constantly trying to, push on our people. Like you said, Brock, those thugs that they try to label our people. We are not that. It is your East Indian man. You know what I mean? Salaki.
Yes, Salaki, I don't want listen. You think I'm making this up? This is Tyler Oliveira, the white man that came during Hebrew Academy, right? He's gonna prove to you that East Indians, listen, they do a lot of the most of the human trafficking. He's gonna show you right here about being smuggled. You understand? He's gonna tell you right now. Watch this.
After a 6-hour drive from Brampton to Montreal. Been running through this situation a million different ways.
There's a Brampton to Montreal. Fucking crazy.
I get stabbed or shot or kidnapped or sold for organs. I'm a little bit concerned once I get in their car, what will happen next if they just point a knife at me and say, give me all your cash, give me everything you have. We're going to kidnap you if not. But fortune favors the bold. Let's get in there. And after a 6-hour drive from Brampton to Montreal, I had arrived at the Gurdwara Sikh temple Sidhu told me to wait in front of. Okay, I will be there.
That's most definitely in the Park X neighborhood, which is the East Indian neighborhood of Montreal, just so y'all know.
Tomorrow I will send you USA, okay?
After getting ghosted by Sidhu, he told me to go sleep the night at a nearby hotel.
Like you said, that is the Indian town in Montreal. And don't forget, in Brampton, they don't call it Brampton, they call it Brown Town.
Oh, God.
Brampton is East Indian. It's like
God.
Hotel where one of his associates would pick me up in the morning. All right, Operation Human Trafficking, let's go.
Operation Human Trafficking is crazy.
Hello, how much longer until you arrive?
20-25 minutes wait, bro.
20-25?
I am coming.
Okay, thank you. See you soon.
Okay, bro.
Thank you. Guys, bro. The question was, could I, an Indian villager, enter the greatest country on earth by coming to Canada on a student visa and paying a smuggler to traffic me in? Are you with Sadhu? Okay. No. English.
All English?
Yes.
You from?
Portugal.
Portugal?
Lisbon. Obrigado. It's been a long wait.
Yeah. You from
Portugal. You?
India.
Punjab?
Yeah.
Keep me safe.
Yeah.
Be safe, okay?
No friend, no family member. Send me location.
Okay, I trust you then. What was your name?
Tasveer.
I trust you. Let's go. I want to get this over with. Okay, stay in the hotel?
Personal room?
Personal room?
Yeah.
Okay. Here in Montreal?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
This hotel, no safe.
Why not?
You go to USA illegal. So no safe hotel.
How long you been in Canada?
3 years.
3 years.
Permanent residence.
Have you been to USA?
Yeah, I mean go USA, I come book up. You give me phone, it's
Phone?
oh yeah.
Phone?
It's
Once we get there?
this chat related.
Oh, okay. I see. Tomorrow night we go?
Today little bit.
And we have more people in the house?
Yes.
How many people? Like big house?
No.
I'm nervous. I don't want to get...
Petroleum.
What are the chances things go wrong at border?
80% good, 20% good.
20% not good. Avoid detection by Border Patrol. Bad? Okay, I didn't know. You want it? Okay.
आपने बता दिया ठीक रहा अगर आप यहाँ लेकर जाते.
Okay, you told me that's fine. If you had taken me here, the sensor would have read the lyrics.
Yeah, this has this long distance.
The sensor can see the knife?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I said, okay, he asked for 200. What do I do?
I said, bro, don't give him any money. He said not to give you any extra money. So what do I do? Because you're my only person, my only contact.
Yeah. This wait, I am come. This car.
Okay. Wait. Things are getting shicey. 3 Sikh homies in turbans came out. I'm gonna get dragged into some room. The question is, can I record any of this without getting killed? I'm in the middle of Montreal, about 30 minutes away from the border. My smuggler's about to bring me across the border tonight or tomorrow. They're asking for 6,000 Canadian dollars. I have none of it on me. I don't know how this is gonna pan out. Praying to God I don't get fucking stabbed. It's like 4 Sikh dudes patrolling the area. He told me not to text anyone. Obviously, my location has been sent to my parents and Pasha. In the event an emergency goes down, I'm running.
.com/Tyler Oliveira and get early.
Yeah, we can stop. He's getting smuggled through the border. That happen on a daily basis. Happens all the time. That's right here in Montreal. You know, Park X. Your nasty neighborhood filled with East Indians. I used to live over there at some point. Yes, I'm telling you right now, this is diabolical. Listen, he's just showing you how they smuggling people for $6,000. You know, do you know how? I know Officer Shaw won't remember. Justin Trudeau used to give $2,000 a month during COVID. Do you know how many people got smuggled?
Yeah.
For like 2 years, Justin Trudeau, you call a number, he gave $2,000 a month during COVID. Listen, that's 3 months. Or you just 3 people calling for $2,000, you smuggle someone for $6,000. You see how easy it is? And then you want to talk about us? These people are criminals. We're not. We come over here as refugees. Look at the state of Haiti. Look at the state of Jamaica. Look at the state of Mexico. We come as refugees. We work. I have one of my brethren, you know, may he rise again. He used to work in the wine fields in Vancouver. It's like picking grapes so that white people could enjoy some good wine. That's what he used to do. And he got unalived in the fields. You understand? We come over here working. They come over here scamming. They come over here to they smuggle themselves in Canada and they smuggle themselves in the US or vice versa. We're the people that's not desire that everybody oppresses for no goddamn reason. You want to talk about us? Address that elephant, that East Indian elephant in the room. You understand? Good night. You can make it. Hey, shout out to Tyler Oliveira. This devil. You know, he just showed you that these people are the real criminals. Salak, y'all don't want him. You're about to end the show.
He did. I watched that a while ago. You know what I mean? And it was just interesting to see, you know, the different connections that they had. And as I was watching it, in my mind, I'm like, you know, this is such a small part of their organization. You know what I mean? A small part of their organized crime. You know what I mean? There's a forget the name of them. There's some brown East Indian gang inside of Brampton. You know what I mean? And they've been known for damn near terrorizing that city. You know what I mean? They there's a highway that goes right into Brampton, and every night, you know, they drive through the highway, you know, just setting off their you know, their semi-automatic guns and whatever on the highway, just terrorizing residents driving through there. You know what I mean? It's not black people doing this. You know what I mean? And it's funny because, you know, Europeans in Canada, you know, they're getting sick of them. There was they had a man, what was it called? You could probably look it up, Brock. You know, there's some park they were telling the East Indians to go home. You know what I mean? Because they're tired of East Indians taking shits on the park. They're tired of the gangs from East Indians, you know, inside of Canada. They're tired of the drugs. They're tired of, you know, everything these East Indians are bringing into the country. And it's, you know, I sit back and laugh at it because it's so poetic and it's so hypocritical for, you know, white people to be sick of these thugs and gangsters coming into their country when that's exactly what they did to the North American Indians. They came into Canada and brought drugs. They brought gangs. They brought terrorism. They destroyed the Native Indians' land inside of Canada, forced them on reserves. And now brown people are doing it to them. East Indians are doing it to them. You know what I mean? I think it's poetic. I think it's justice. You know what I mean? But again, it goes to show who the real criminals on the earth is.
Right.
It's not the native Indian inside of Canada. They're the oppressed. It's not the black man inside of Canada. We're oppressed. It's the East Indians, the Europeans, the Chinese. I remember I was talking to a man whose uncle was in the FBI, or not the FBI. He's in the police force in Canada, and he was speaking to how it's like damn near every week the police are getting called on Asians who are just chopping their loved ones up and putting their wives inside of garbage bags in the trash. You know what I mean? And they speak on, you know, all the horror stories of what Asian men are doing to their wives. And it's like, God damn, all I ever hear about is Europeans, East Indians, and Asian crime inside of Canada. You know what I mean? That angel of light that the Bible speaks of on how the Europeans present themselves to be. Like they're such a peaceable people. They try to portray the Asian man as, oh, he's just some, you know, smart, docile man who's good at math. They try to portray the East Indians as, oh, they just come in and they work at gas stations and they don't harm anybody. Bullshit. You know what I mean? These are the real criminals on the earth. And it's about time that, you know, Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, a compassionate people, you know, we get in rulership and rule this earth. Because their nonsense, man, we gotta move on from that. We gotta be tired of all the hell and death that they bring on this earth. Salakia.
Khan. You know, we're about to end the show. Right. We do have one episode of White People. And as usual, we're back at it again to show you who the devil is. You understand? Before we end the show.
Get it, baby, get it! Get it! Ow! Whoa!
That thing is not loose.
Ah!
That's bleeding, dog.
You gotta twist it first, Tony.
I'm trying.
Ah!
Good.
Ah! Ow! Got it! Oh, yeah! That's what I'm talking about, motherfucker!
Yeah.
Ah!
I love my brother.
Thank you.
You feel better?
Fuck yeah!
Look at that. Look at that thing.
Look at that shit. Oh.
Fucking hell, man. Listen, the Bible said, is this the one that enslaved us? What is it again? Isaiah, what is it? Let me pull the scripture real quick.
Is that the man that trembled, or that, you know, made the nations tremble? This man's acting so hard while he's getting kissed on the head by another man.
Is he that? Listen, I don't think they're brothers. I think they're love mates. Salakia. Listen, that's the white man.
And then he put a dirty cloth to patch it up. A greasy. This is barbarics, man.
Listen, do you see these savages? Like, you can't go to the dentist. Like, even I remember as kids, right? You get a loose teeth, you like tie it around, like, I think what's it called again? Floss, and then lock the door and some shit like that. You know, your kids. This is a big ass plier. What do you use? This man said gnarly. See, this is these people are barbaric. They're savages. These really are the people who enslaved us. Good night. Like, this is our episode of white peopling. Like, you really, there's man got kissed on the head.
Salagi, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't even call him white. He red as hell. You know what I mean? There's red people in Salaki.
Red people, you might have that. Red people, Edomiting. And this man, like Shiraz said, this man put the cloth is not even white. Damn.
Full of motor grease.
Full of motor grease. This man just put that in his mouth. Pause. That is crazy.
Crazy.
This is good night. You know, but that's our episode of white people. As we back at it again, you know, 1 West Ground Zero every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So like y'all want to give closing statements before we clip it.
Heavy class, Yabashim Shabbat for having me.
Yeah, likewise. Shalom, Yahabashim Yashar.
You understand? The water for blessing us with your presence. We'll be back as usual every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lord allow. Until Christ come back. Tune in. Stop going to church. Stop smoking blunts. Stop being a whore. Stop sucking on little boys' tongues like the Dalai Lama. You understand? Tune in to the I.S.U.P.K classes from Monday to Friday. Podcast damn near every day of the week. The home of the truth. There is nothing but the truth. You understand? You better lock in because time is short and we're running out of it. With that, we'll be back next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shalom, Yabashim Shabbat Tam, to all the brothers, Yahweh Shema, Tam Bashim Yosai, to all the sisters. Lock in Israel.
Yeah. 1 West. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. We work hard in a life, hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and a dig it in a road and a live no life. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now me a seek time for myself and me a shell down some party. Me stressed, me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to that girl inna the beach dress. The body a roller, she a the neatest. She nah no man, nah that a the weakness. So me the in her ears, but not like a real pest. Nah, just a move with a vibe. Like we a pour, the mood is alive. If you do 9 to 5, I know you a get rich, you do realize. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now we a pour kulu rump on NC with Campari. That is it. Move to that girl, let the body tick. What is it? You know see me attack loud the politics. Watch it twist. No one see no chick flick, no matic click. No negative energy, a positive. 1 West I keep the peace and no magic trick. We are dance till in icon. We are groove, we are vibe. And no care, no fear right off. Make it home with your life. Me say, me no want see you leave yet. Me no want see you depressed. We are party for de-stress. We work hard in a life. Hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and I mash up the road and I live no life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Me stressed. Me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to that girl inna the peach dress. The body a roller, she a the neatest. She nah no man, so that a the weakness. So me the inna it here, that a no real test. Nah.